The Ottoman Empire was distinct in numerous ways, including its controversial practice of fratricide, a brutal method used to ensure a stable succession by executing brothers of newly ascended sultans to prevent civil wars. This practice, integral to Ottoman governance for centuries, had profound impacts on the empire's stability and administration. To grasp the significance of fratricide, it is essential to understand the broader historical context, particularly the evolution of feudalism and governance in the Middle East. Feudalism, which dominated the political landscape of the Middle Ages, varied significantly across regions. In the Middle East, it was profoundly influenced by the Sassanid system, characterized by a vertical power structure where the ruler retained direct control over land and granted it conditionally to lower nobility in exchange for military or administrative services. This system meant that governors acted more as administrative representatives of central authority rather than independent feudal lords, a distinction that greatly influenced later Islamic governance models. The Seljuks and Mongols, following this tradition of centralized control, often divided their empires among their sons, leading to internal strife and weakening their states. Observing these outcomes, the Ottomans, although not direct descendants of the Seljuks, learned from their predecessors' mistakes. When Osman I, the founder of the Ottoman Empire, died in 1324, his son Orhan offered to divide the empire with his brother Alauddin. Alauddin, understanding the risks of divided rule and future civil wars, refused, setting a crucial precedent. Consequently, the Ottomans institutionalized fratricide to maintain a unified rule and prevent fragmentation, a ruthless yet effective strategy that ensured control over vast territories and fostered a period of administrative efficiency, military expansion, and cultural flourishing. This historical context underscores why practices like fratricide were deemed necessary and how they shaped the empire's structure and longevity. As we proceed, we will explore the Ottoman Empire's administrative strategies, military expansions, cultural advancements, and eventual decline, always considering the foundational practices and historical contexts that influenced these developments. This comprehensive exploration offers a nuanced understanding of how the Ottomans balanced ruthless internal policies with sophisticated administration and cultural patronage. Early incidents leading to fratricide. The Battle of Kosovo in 1389 was a pivotal moment for the Ottomans, influencing their succession practices for centuries. During this battle, Sultan Murad I was assassinated by a Serbian knight, creating a power vacuum that ignited a fierce struggle between his sons, Bayezid and Yaqub. The lack of a clear heir exacerbated internal conflict, with Bayezid, later known as Bayezid I, allegedly killing his brother Yaqub to secure the throne. This incident underscored the dangers of unclear succession and the potential for internecine conflict, establishing a precedent for future rulers to adopt drastic measures to ensure stability. The concept of fratricide began to take shape as a necessary means to avoid such crises. This early incident highlights the importance of understanding Ottoman succession practices in our 100-hour guide, offering insights into how the Ottomans balanced ruthless policies with sophisticated governance. The Ottoman interregnum from 1402 to 1413 further emphasized the need for a decisive succession process. Following Bayezid I's capture by Timur at the Battle of Ankara, the empire plunged into disarray, with Bayezid's sons, Suleiman, Isa, Mehmed, and Musa, vying for control. The prolonged civil war that ensued for over a decade devastated the empire, demonstrating the destructive potential of disputed succession. It was only when Mehmed I emerged victorious in 1413 and restored unity that stability began to return. This tumultuous period underscored the necessity of a clear succession process, leading to the institutionalization of fratricide as a brutal yet effective method to ensure an uncontested transition of power, reflecting the harsh realities of medieval politics and the priority of maintaining a stable rule. As we continue exploring the Ottoman Empire's history, these early incidents reveal how they influenced succession practices and the empire's governance. Mehmed II and legalization of fratricide. When Mehmed II, or Mehmed the Conqueror, ascended the Ottoman throne, he faced the challenge of consolidating his rule over an empire troubled by internal strife and contested successions. His conquest of Constantinople in 1453 was a landmark achievement, but securing his position was equally critical. To address the persistent issues of civil wars and internal conflicts arising from unclear succession, Mehmed II enacted a law legalizing fratricide. This law mandated that the successor to the throne must eliminate his brothers to prevent any potential claims that could lead to division and unrest. The edict stated, "Whichever of my sons inherits the sultanate, it behooves him to kill his brothers in the interest of world order." Most jurists have approved this. Let the action be taken accordingly. This severe policy was more than a personal decree. It was an attempt to institutionalize stability through drastic means. The method for executing brothers, strangulation with a silk cord, was chosen to be less dishonorable than spilling royal blood, preserving the dignity of the royal family while maintaining the sanctity of the lineage. Mehmed II's integration of this practice into the legal framework aimed to create a more predictable transition of power, despite its inherent brutality. This approach to succession reflects the complex interplay between governance, tradition, and the harsh realities of managing a vast empire. As we delve deeper into the Ottoman Empire's history in this 100-hour guide, we will examine how such policies shaped the political landscape and governance, illustrating the balance between order and the severe measures needed to maintain control. Fratricide in practice. The practice of fratricide, rigorously applied by Mehmed II, significantly impacted Ottoman succession and governance. After Mehmed II's death in 1481, a struggle for succession between his sons Bayezid and Selim highlighted the intense rivalries and power dynamics of Ottoman politics. Bayezid, supported by Constantinople loyalists, secured the throne, while Selim, despite a brief military campaign, sought refuge with the Knights Hospitaller on Rhodes. Selim's presence and alliances with European powers challenged Bayezid's authority, complicating the political landscape. Selim's eventual death in 1495, after prolonged tension and diplomatic maneuvering, underscored the constant threat of rival claimants and the necessity of fratricide for stabilizing the throne. This policy was not only personal but systemic, reflecting the ongoing need to eliminate rivals to ensure stability. Selim I's reign, marked by decisive military and political actions, further demonstrated the impact of fratricide. Facing opposition from his brothers Ahmed and Korkut, Selim defeated Ahmed in battle and executed Korkut. Actions emblematic of fratricidal practices intended to remove potential threats. Selim's successful campaigns, including the conquest of the Mamluk Sultanate and annexation of Egypt, showcased how fratricide facilitated both internal consolidation and expansive ambitions. This period exemplifies how ruthless internal policies were intertwined with the empire's growth, shaping its historical trajectory. As we explore these events in our 100-hour guide, we will see how fratricide deeply influenced the empire's governance and legacy. Peak and decline of fratricide. Fratricide reached a dramatic peak during Suleiman the Magnificent's reign, celebrated for its legal and military successes but marred by intense familial strife. Suleiman, known for expanding the empire's borders and reforming the legal system, faced significant challenges from his sons Mustafa, Selim, and Bayezid, all potential heirs. The internal dynamics were fraught with tension, as Suleiman perceived Mustafa, despite his military experience and popularity, as a threat. Fearing rebellion, Suleiman decided to execute Mustafa, illustrating the precarious nature of Ottoman succession. After Mustafa's execution, Selim and Bayezid engaged in a brutal civil war, with Selim ultimately defeating Bayezid and capturing and executing his sons. This series of events underscores the extreme measures taken to ensure throne stability and the relentless nature of Ottoman politics. The practice of fratricide continued with shocking consequences during the reigns of Murad III and Mehmed III. Murad III, who fathered many children, saw his eldest son Mehmed order the execution of 19 brothers and several of their children after Murad's death in 1595. This mass execution was not just a power consolidation, but a statement of the extreme measures taken to secure the throne, reflecting the brutal reality of Ottoman succession politics. The scale of violence shocked both subjects and foreign observers, highlighting the lengths to which the Ottomans went to prevent internal conflict. This period marks the peak of fratricidal practice and reveals its impact on Ottoman governance and legacy. As we continue through this 100-hour guide, these events offer insights into how fratricide shaped the empire's political structures and contributed to its decline. End of fratricide. The end of fratricide in the Ottoman Empire marked a profound transformation in succession practices, altering internal politics and governance. This shift began with Mehmed I's ascension in 1603 at the age of 13. Ahmed's decision to spare his younger brother Mustafa deviated from the long-standing tradition of fratricide, establishing a new precedent. This pivotal moment led to the creation of the Kafes, or golden cage system, designed to manage potential heirs more humanely by confining them within the palace under strict surveillance. Unlike the brutal practices of previous rulers, the Kafes system allowed heirs to live but restricted their freedom, reducing the risk of internal conflict while avoiding the bloodshed that characterized earlier succession practices. This system was both a literal and symbolic representation of the new approach, providing a controlled environment that mitigated the immediate risk of civil strife and palace intrigue. Alongside the Kafes system, legal and social changes further curtailed fratricide. Sultans were required to marry and produce heirs, providing a more stable succession line and reducing reliance on extreme measures. The empire also saw the rise of complex bureaucratic structures, diminishing the role of succession crises in governance. By the 17th century, the transformation in succession practices reflected a broader shift in the empire's approach to stability and governance. The end of fratricide and the introduction of new succession methods highlighted the evolving nature of Ottoman rule and the empire's efforts to adapt to changing political realities. As our 100-hour guide progresses, understanding these developments will provide deeper insights into the Ottoman Empire's transformation and its lasting impact on the region's history. Ottoman successors and governance evolution. The transition from fratricide to alternative succession methods marked a significant evolution in Ottoman governance, reflecting broader shifts in political stability and administrative practices. The introduction of the Kafes system under Ahmed not only ended the brutal practice of fratricide, but also symbolized a new era of managing potential heirs. This system, designed to prevent internal conflict and maintain stability, became a defining feature of Ottoman succession for centuries. Ahmed I's decision to spare his brother Mustafa and the subsequent establishment of the Kafes system marked a pivotal change in Ottoman politics, emphasizing a more humane approach to succession while maintaining control over potential claimants. The Kafes system, although restrictive, allowed for the survival of potential heirs, reducing the immediate risks associated with contested successions. This shift reflected a broader trend toward more stable and predictable governance, adapting to the empire's changing needs. As the empire progressed into the 17th and 18th centuries, the decline of fratricide and the introduction of new succession practices demonstrated a shift towards more complex administrative structures and legal reforms. The empire's bureaucratic evolution, including the rise of the provincial administrative system and the strengthening of the central authority, further contributed to the stability and longevity of the Ottoman rule. Understanding these changes offers valuable insights into how the empire adapted its governance strategies to address internal and external challenges. This historical perspective enriches our comprehension of the Ottoman Empire's legacy, highlighting the interplay between governance practices and political stability. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the intricate and often ruthless world of Ottoman succession practices. We've explored the origins and impacts of fratricide, from its early implementation to its eventual replacement by the Kafes system, highlighting how these practices shaped the empire's stability and governance. If you found this exploration into Ottoman history both fascinating and informative, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on all our latest videos, diving deeper into the rich tapestry of history, philosophy, and much more. Like, share, and comment below with your thoughts or any topics you'd like us to cover next. Your engagement helps us bring more content to you and ensures you never miss out on our detailed explorations.